Mike walks into Harbor Freight expecting to pick up a $9 angle grinder, 10 times cheaper than big-name brands down the street. But behind every bargain is a machine, 1,500 stores, billions of dollars in sales, and a business model that seems to defy logic. What is the true secret behind Harbor Freight's eye-popping prices, and how can cheap tools create a billionaire? The reality is far more calculated and far more profitable than anyone expects. Mike stands in the aisle, the $9 angle grinder in his hand. He checks the price tag again, almost suspicious. At Home Depot, a similar tool from Milwaukee costs $99, more than 10 times as much. The difference feels almost absurd. Next to the Warrior grinder, he finds a Bauer model for $39 and a Hercules version for $99. The packaging is simple, the shelves are packed tight, and the brands sound unfamiliar. Still, the promise is clear: get the job done for less. This is a moment about value. Mike hesitates, looking from the cheapest tool to the mid-tier, then up to the premium. He is not alone. Around him, other shoppers run their fingers over the handles, compare specs, and squint at the tiny print on the boxes. Most wear work boots or dusty jeans, people who know what these tools are supposed to do, but who also know what $100 feels like at the register. Everyone here is weighing choice. For Mike, the $9 tag is not just a bargain. It is a chance to stretch his paycheck, to fix what needs fixing without breaking the bank. In that moment, the decision is about more than tools. It is about trust, about value, and about the hope that cheap does not have to mean disposable. A wall of brands lines the aisle, each with its own promise and price. Warrior sits at the bottom, bare bones and ultra cheap, almost daring you to risk it. Bauer, just a shelf above, looks sturdier and costs 4 times as much. Hercules, perched at the top, wears a price tag that rivals the big box names. The arrangement is not random. It is a classic pricing strategy known as the decoy effect. By placing a rock-bottom option next to a premium-priced one, Harbor Freight nudges shoppers toward the middle. The entry-level tool makes Bauer look like a step up in quality without the sting of the highest price. For most customers, the middle tier feels like the smartest compromise, better than the cheapest, and safer than the most expensive. Behavioral analysts call this the good, better, best ladder. In practice, it means shoppers like Mike rarely walk out with the tool they first picked up. The shelf design itself gently steers them toward the option that delivers the most profit for the store. At the register, Mike slides his grinder onto the counter, already feeling the tension between thrift and temptation. The cashier greets him, then reaches for the coupon tucked in Mike's hand, a direct mail offer promising 20% off any single item. The barcode gets a quick scan. The discount shaves a couple of dollars off the total, but the real play is just beginning. The cashier, practiced and upbeat, pitches the Inside Track Club, $29.99 for a year of extra deals, early access, and exclusive coupons. Mike hesitates. The pitch is smooth, saying most folks save that in a couple of visits. While he considers, the register tallies up more than just the grinder. Gloves, safety glasses, a power cord, and a pack of zip ties, each a small, easy add-on, pile up in his basket. The receipt prints out, long and itemized, the coupon savings highlighted, and a fresh stack of offers stapled to the top. For Harbor Freight, the coupon is not a loss. It is the trigger that turns a $9 plan into a much bigger sale. The sale is tracked line by line on the slip Mike pockets as he heads out the door, and the trigger becomes profit. A technician in a cluttered workshop removes the side cover from Mike's new Bauer grinder. Inside, copper windings, steel gears, and a stamped armature look nearly indistinguishable from those in a Milwaukee model, down to the wiring layout and the bearing dimensions. The only real differences are the plastic color and the branding on the housing. For the average user, these details barely matter, but to someone who repairs tools for a living, the similarities are hard to ignore. On a battered laptop, a sourcing analyst scrolls import records. Panjiva data shows container after container, thousands of grinders, drills, and jacks shipped from the same clusters of factories in Ningbo and Guangdong. A single shipment can hold over 2,000 units, and the same factory names appear on manifests for both Harbor Freight and premium brands. While not every part is identical, the supply chain overlaps are obvious. Harbor Freight's direct relationships with these original equipment manufacturers let the company order in bulk, sometimes 10 times the volume of a regional competitor. The analyst highlights a line on the screen. One order for 10,000 angle grinders, delivered straight from China to a United States port, bypassing middlemen and shaving dollars off the landed cost. By controlling specifications and packaging in-house, Harbor Freight can tweak a handle or a switch, put on a different badge, and move millions of units at a price that still leaves room for profit, even at the lowest shelf price. The real secret is not just cheap labor or thin margins, it is the leverage that comes from scale, direct sourcing, and a willingness to keep things simple. In 1977, Harbor Freight opened its doors as a small mail-order business in North Hollywood. For years, the company stayed under the radar, quietly selling surplus tools by catalog while adding a handful of stores at a time. By the early 2000s, the chain had grown to around 200 locations, a modest footprint compared to today as national giants. The real expansion did not kick in until the next decade, and that growth accelerated quickly. By 2013, Harbor Freight operated roughly 500 stores, and by 2019, that number had doubled to over 1,000. In 2024, the store count stands near 1,500 and continues to climb with new openings each month. This steady growth was not just about putting more signs on more buildings. Each new store added buying power, letting Harbor Freight negotiate larger factory orders and better terms, increasing scale and leverage. Unlike big box rivals with sprawling layouts and thousands of employees, Harbor Freight focused on smaller, densely packed locations in low-cost suburban areas. The stores carried a lean assortment of about 7,500 items, making it easier to keep shelves stocked and products moving quickly. Credit analysts point to Harbor Freight's efficient inventory management as a major strength. The company's working capital cycle is tight. Products arrive straight from factories, spend little time sitting in the back room, and move out the door faster than in most traditional hardware chains. While a typical home improvement retailer might turn its inventory 8 to 12 times a year, discount chains with Harbor Freight's model often cycle stock much faster. This rapid turnover frees up cash, reduces the risk of unsold goods, and lets the company reinvest in more inventory or new locations. The result is a flywheel. More stores mean more volume, which fuels even faster and more efficient operations. At checkout, a clerk offers Mike an extended warranty, $8 for 2 years of coverage on his new grinder. Industry insiders say nearly a third of buyers accept, but only a handful ever file a claim. That gap turns warranties into a quiet profit engine. Behind the counter, the store runs on a skeleton crew, 8 to 12 employees covering the floor, stockroom, and register. Compared to more than 100 staff at a big box competitor, payroll here stays lean. Operating costs, from wages to utilities, remain well below those of traditional retailers. The combination of high-margin add-ons and low overhead means profit is not just built into the product, but into every step of the transaction. A payments expert explains that every time a customer swipes a Harbor Freight credit card, the company collects a slice of the transaction, typically 1 to 3% in interchange fees, plus a share of interest when the balance is not paid off. With thousands of daily purchases and an annual percentage rate near 25%, these small percentages add up fast, generating tens of millions in revenue each year. Beyond cards, Harbor Freight rents items like generators and trailers, often earning margins of 40 to 50%. The company also monetizes its massive email list by selling marketing data to brands that target the same hands-on crowd, turning a simple list into another steady source of data-driven revenue. The receipt tells the whole story. Mike's $39 Bauer grinder, plus $41 in impulse buys and an $8 warranty, after a coupon discount, leaves Harbor Freight with $49.20 in gross profit from a single visit. A company spokesperson points to efficient operations and value for customers. Analysts credit the model's discipline. Shoppers like Mike say the math works for them. Every $9 bargain is bait for a far bigger machine, one that turns data, habits, and real estate into profit at scale. As inflation reshapes what cheap means, Harbor Freight's model shows the real value is not in the price tag, but in how we are steered to spend. What's that worth to you?